What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope
Hi,
everyone
guys.
is well. Today we're going to be taking you through how you can increase your book's visibility, therefore increasing sales.
Exciting.
And it's not by what you think it might be. It's not going to be by changing your cover, changing your title, or even improving your manuscript. In fact, what it actually is
adding your book to additional categories. And yes, book covers, manuscript, description, they are very important.
and they can help.
And it can help, of course it can help, but the additional categories is something that a lot of self-publishers and even big publishers don't do, and they don't actually add their book to all the categories that Amazon actually allows you to add your book to.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you published a book before, or if it's your first time publishing, when you upload your book to Amazon, to KDP, it only lets you upload your book to, add your book to 2 categories. So out of the 10,000 categories on Amazon, you only are allowed to pick 2. And that's a problem, because if you can think about it, when someone is searching on Amazon for books and they're only going to go into a certain amount of categories, the more categories you can have your book in, the more visibility there is, the more chances that your book's actually going to be found by a potential customer.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's really important to actually add your book to additional categories.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny that they don't tell you that you can do this, because they obviously allow it, but they just don't, when you're actually uploading it, they don't give you the option, and they just kind of let people figure it out on their own at some point down their publishing career. But
yeah, well, we found out because one of our friends who also self-publishes actually told us, and we were like, whoa, okay, we didn't even know that. Absolute game changer. It actually increased our sales by quite a bit on 2 of our books when we added it to 8 more categories. So let's just jump into Amazon now and show you exactly what we mean. So if we go over to the book section, and once we're in the books, we go to bestsellers and more. And then we always go to print bestsellers. We're non-fiction publishers, so that's where we make most of our sales. But if you're a fiction publisher, you might want to look at the Kindle, because that's where more sales are normally generated. And then down the side here are all our categories. We click, for example, let's just go for a gardening book. Nice and simple. That is here, gardening and landscape. Okay. And these are all the subcategories within the gardening and landscape. Sorry, these are all the subcategories within the gardening and landscape design. And
there's so many.
there's so many. And the more, for example, if you have a gardening book, the more categories you can be in, the better for your book, basically. But you don't want to be silly with this. You don't want to add it just to random categories which don't make any sense.
Yeah, it needs to actually have to do with your book, and it has to relate. You can't just put it into like houseplants if it's not actually a book that has to do with houseplants, or at least something similar.
Well, you can, but it looks a bit unprofessional. And should we try and find an example, actually? So let's go into houseplants. There we go. Okay, cool. So just what Angelina was saying is that in houseplant gardening, you'd expect there to be just books on houseplant gardening, but there's not. There's a paint by sticker. There's a botanical curses and poisons, which is a bit of a shame that Amazon lets you do this, isn't it? But you're allowed to. But we just think it doesn't look that professional if you just bung your book into random categories.
You would think that Amazon would actually like check the categories that you're putting them into and make sure that they're related, but they obviously don't. So you can literally put them into any single one that you want, but just like we said, try to avoid putting them into something completely random.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, let's actually take you through how you know which category a book is in. So let's just click on this one first of all. So if you don't have DS Amazon Quick View, and we'll cover that in just a little bit, if you have no extensions at all in your Chrome, all you do is you click on a book or your book, and then you scroll down to past the A+ content to the product details here, and it will give you the categories, the top 3 categories which your book is ranking in. In this one, you can see it's number 3 in houseplant gardening, the category we're in, number 6 in gardening and horticulture reference, and number 9 in garden encyclopedias. So obviously this book might be in more, and this doesn't tell you that, but they're the top 3 categories that this book's ranking in.
So just to reiterate, the reason that this is important to put your books into other categories is because, as you can see with all of the different categories that you have on the left, if you only have it in crafts, hobbies, and home, which is the very main overarching category, or even gardening and landscape, so you even have it in both of them, if somebody is actually just browsing and happens to click into any one of these other ones, and it was one that your book is actually related to, if you hadn't put it in there, then they obviously won't have seen it. So it's just another way to get your book into 6 more categories, and like we said, increase the visibility and make it that much more likely to sell.
8 more categories.
Sorry, yes, 8 more categories.
8 more categories. Okay, yeah. And so that's reason number 1, probably the most important reason. But reason number 2, actually very important as well.
Yeah, pretty equally
is
important.
Amazon bestseller tag. And if you don't want to know what that is, for every single category on Amazon, I think there's 10,000 category or subcategory or subcategory.
There's that many. That's
it's kind of insane, isn't it? They have every hour, maybe actually, I think every couple of hours is updated for the bestsellers. Okay, so the bestseller, let's just click into Japanese Gardens here. So in Japanese Gardens subcategory, this is the best-selling book. And what it gives the book is this bestseller tag here. So for all 10,000 categories, there will be 10,000 books every couple of hours which get this bestseller tag. And from a consumer's point of view, that gives it a lot.
Really good,
it looks really, really good. It adds a lot of social proof to the book. It makes buyers think that this is the top book in that particular category, basically. So it's really important. If we can try and get that, that will do wonders for your book. It's almost as important as reviews, a number of reviews. I would say
you actually can kind of see as well, anytime you get the #1 bestseller tag for the first time, or sometimes it'll come and go just depending on other books rankings and stuff, but you always kind of notice a spike in your sales when you have been awarded that bestsellers tag. So it really does help.
Yeah, and that's why the other reason why we add it to additional categories is you have 2 chances to get the bestseller tag. If you add it to just 2 categories, you're given 8 more chances to get the bestseller tag if you add it to 8 more categories.
Yeah.
And our little hack we like to do is we actually like to figure out which categories are best
kind of scope them
to
out.
get the bestseller tag in. And so let's show you that now. So this is our little hack that we have been using for a while, and it seems to work pretty well. Okay, so different categories have a different number of book sales to get the #1 rank. So let me show you what I mean. So for example, if we just click on the overarching garden and landscape design category, bestsellers in the gardening and landscape design, the #1 is medicinal herbs and gardens. So this down here is a bestsellers rank. 869, 935, 820. This relates to how well the book is selling on Amazon. So this is the 869th best-selling book on the whole of Amazon.
Yeah, so ranking against all of the other books on Amazon. So not necessarily just in this category. Literally every book is ranked against each other.
And this is the #1 best-selling book in this category.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, and that's the 869th best-selling book. Okay, so that's very, very high ranking. However, if we go to one of the more obscure categories, let's go for weed and pest control, for example. And the bestsellers rank here is 257,000.
Which is honestly quite low. And you could, if you had a book that would somehow fit into this category, it'd be really easy to get the bestsellers rank if you could just get above a 257,000 BSR.
Which is very easy. That's less than 1 sale per day. Around 150,000 BSR is roughly 1 sale per day.
Yeah.
Anything less than that is, is less than 1 sale per day. Okay, so you can easily get a 257,000 ranking, and you get the bestseller tag. But obviously, you have to have that fine balance between getting into as many categories as possible, but they have to be somewhat relevant to your book.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's look at another category down here. Let's choose greenhouses, and it'll just pull up the ranking here. 18,000. Okay, so you can see the overarching category of gardening and landscape was 856. Then we had greenhouses, which is 18,000, so less competitive, but still good selling book to get to #1. Then you have weed and pest control, which is 275,000. And if you can get that bestseller tag, it will really, really help you.
Exactly, book. So the game here is just sort of looking through all of the different subcategories and figuring out which one both relates to your book and also has a low enough BSR that you think you could get your book in there and have it to be the #1 in that category to give you that bestsellers tag.
Yeah. Exactly. And I don't know if I explained it or not, but the rankings down here, this is, you won't have this unless you have DS Amazon Quick View. It's a Google Chrome extension. Just Google DS Amazon Quick View.
We'll have it linked below the video.
We'll have a link below.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And it will bring up these quick stats here, which are really, really useful for you. Okay, so that is pretty much adding your book to additional categories, why it's important. Now let's go and actually show you how you can add your book to additional categories. So once you found out the categories you want to be added, all you do is you sign it into your KDP account. You click onto the help here, and then scroll down to contact us at the bottom, and then click on here, Amazon store and product detail page, update Amazon categories. Really, really simple. And it pretty much
gives you the instructions.
It tells you what to do, but unless you want a category to be removed, you can keep that. But we normally remove that and then just list out the 8 categories on the page here.
Yep.
We put our ASIN number of the book, Amazon.com if it's .com, book format, and then obviously the category which is currently in, and they'll add the book. They'll add your book to those categories. Another really important point, actually. You need to do it for each individual marketplaces. So if you're selling across all marketplaces in the English speaking languages, mainly, that's what most people are doing. If you speak English, Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and Amazon.com.au.
Yeah.
You'll need to update categories for each of those specific ones.
And you also need to do the book format. So whether you want it to be paperback or ebook or both, you need to do that as well. So as you can see here in the example, like it says .com, and then it has paperback. So if you wanted to do paperback and ebook, you would have to list them both.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, do it on Kindle and paperback. It's a bit of work actually, but
it's tedious, but
it's definitely worth it to do.
And once you do it, you don't have to touch it again for that book, unless you decide to change like one categories down the line or something. But it's mostly that first initial time of getting of all 8 of them listed out.
Yeah. But we promise you that will definitely increase your book's visibility and definitely increase your book's sales. We can almost guarantee that.
Yeah.
So hope that was helpful, guys. That's a little tip, a little hack that we've learned a little while ago. Definitely implement that with your publishing business. And yeah, have you got anything else to say? Was that pretty good?
Much it, yeah. Pretty much just make sure you guys are liking and subscribing if you're enjoying the content.
That'd be lovely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep on bringing videos out, hopefully on a weekly basis. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
And we'd love to hear commenting below what else you'd like us to cover in future videos. If you comment below, that would be great.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.